So
hang on a second. Let's back.
oh,
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Good deal. Thank you.
yeah, okay. So this is the first my presentation evaluation of the video-based virtual exercise physical laboratory. This is for my work is 2015. But today is luckily, so I have updated. As you see, it already looks updated, is right. So 2018 version, this is virtual reality of exercise physics laboratory, right? Oh, this is fun, is our mini grant. And today's kind of trailer. So I would like to show our student. She's the Dennis, is our powerlifter, and I'll show some kind of like her performance too. So it's kind of like my approach when I teach our students the same, right? Always make interesting using really good virtual image and virtual video. So already, Beth already said, right? Kinesiology is right now is kind of like a lot of demand as well as important major too. So I would like to explain a little bit kinesiology. The kinesiology, the academic disciple that study physical activity and its impact on health, society, and quality of life. So this is from some news report. Newsweek said is how bad is U.S. healthcare, or Los Angeles Times, diabetes nation, or half of Americans have diabetes or pre-diabetes. So based on this one, because healthcare is not really good, but we have a lot of problems. So we should change our lifestyle. At that time, kinesiology is really important. So does it make sense, right? It's important. So Beth already said, is right. This is a growing major also. Kinesiology major is growing. So this is kind of evidence. So this is kinesiology major, is enrollment, and this is overall enrollment. How about California State University at Flatton? This is 2010 data. Kinesiology major is increased 104%, but it's overall 50.5%. So we can really see, oh, this is kind of a trend. The major student number of student of major of kinesiology is really increased. Is other universities same? San Diego State University and another state, right? University of Texas and Austin. So as you see, is kinesiology major keep increase, but overall is increase, sometimes decrease. So I believe this is really, yes, this is really trend. Is kinesiology major numbers increase, right? This is not my opinion. This is really evidence. So just to show the graph, right, is increase, but some overall sometimes decrease. And another one, this is my major, is exercise physiology I teach, but this exercise physiology is one of the important gatekeeper course of the kinesiology major. So as you see, this is our curriculum, is like a map, right? This exercise physiology class, after these classes, student can take many other classes. So this is why exercise physiology class is so important. And exercise physiology class, but the lab experience is one of the most important part of exercise physiology. So kinesiology major increase, but exercise physiology is important, but the lab experience of exercise physiology is most important. But however, most our CSU system may not have enough expensive equipment and space, is right? So this is our problem. This is why I got a grant from the 2015. So I developed virtual lab. So it was really good experience for me and our student too. Yeah, so and another one, so because number of students increase, but the problem is every hour, every 2 hours, only our exercise physiology lab has a capacity to get a 10 to 15 students. But usually we have 70 to 580 students per class. So this is why we have tough time to give a hands-on experience. And another one, exercise physiology class is the top class for other students because many times kinesiology major student come to our kinesiology major, but they think, oh, sounds like it's easy because it sounds like exercise, like some kind of sports. So they are a little bit confused because exercise physiology is a science class, but students are confused. So this is why they entered our exercise physiology class. They have a tough time. So exercise physiology class is kind of the low success rate. So another problem is complicated and very science-based, but students really didn't expect. Yeah, there are high demand but low success issue in the exercise physiology class. But if we have make a virtual lab, 2015 I already did, but that is really solved the problem at that time. And another one is in the kinesiology major. There are various people, various population, student population. So there are teaching, coaching, and exercise science, and pre-PT. And after graduation, student want to be like a sports management, PT, it means is physical therapist, nurse, physician assistant, athletic director, AT, PE teacher, dietitian. See, there are a lot of the job availability. So many students is confused because like a nursing program, after finishing nursing program, become nurse is very simple, very easy. But our kinesiology major is really complicated. So many times student is very confused during the semester, during the academic year. Mhm. And another one I already said is like many students to come to kinesiology major, right? Because they did not really expect this is like a science class, but this is really science class, especially exercise physiology. So prerequisite should be chemistry and math. But sometime in our school, we didn't really change our curriculum. So many students didn't have any chemistry background. They can come to our exercise physiology class and take it, and they have a very tough time. Mhm. Yeah, so that is another problem. How about listen from our teaching assistants? What is the problem we have? Oh,
We can't hear him, and I
oh,
think that when you share screen, you have to do something to pass the sound also.
oh, okay. So how about the same thing? Is like me? So he just talk about because our students are not really ready. And another one, we have a really good lab, but still equipment is that many. So that is our problem. So just I want to share how to use virtual lab at this time, not virtual reality, virtual lab to to teach our student. So this is kind of energy system. I believe you go back to your biology class. This is the Volkswagen system, very fast, strong energy system. This is glycolytic energy system, and this is the mitochondrial response system. Like this kind of three energy system. I just want to show you how to use virtual reality to teach, right? Our even like theory. So this is 2015. I developed is a virtual lab, right? Is here. This is a Wingate test. And how about 1 minute 15 seconds? Yeah. So it's here. So this student, he will all out exercise for only 30 seconds, only 30 seconds. But please watch here. If he reach 110 RPM, this basket automatically release. So resistance is applied. And our student will count the repetition per minute every 5 seconds his performance. How about let's see, this is much easier, right? So all of the students encourage him to go, right? And see, it's release, is right? And measuring every 5 seconds, measuring RPM, right? This case 152 RPM and 10 second 150, right? So a little bit decreases, right? So because fatigue occur. And 133, oh, this kind of really good student, right? It's a really good job, right? Very good. So measuring for 30 seconds, this RPM. Mhm. Yes, so this is all out exercise for 30 seconds, right? Mhm. Mhm. And using this one, right, we can calculate. So that is kind of like my previous one, 2015. So using like a video-based what is virtual lab. So we train to the students. Mhm. Yeah, so this is kind of data. But how about this is a really good example. Even I have a kinesiology, we have a kinesiology student. So there are many athletes, but still is like a sedentary style, lifestyle is kind of is our culture. So even our kinesiology student is not really exercise. So this is why sometimes I have this kind of really good athlete as a student. So that is perfect. So why not is make like virtual video using this student. So when we understand energy system, because this kind of power lifter is really represent this Volkswagen is fast. This one, this blue one, Volkswagen energy system. So if I show this kind of energy system using this kind of subject, so I can use this as every semester, right? Because she already graduated. So just I have to show her, right? She is our student, right? She's #1 ranking in the USA. So that is perfect. At that time, student get a really good idea from her, but it's right now she already left. But I made a virtual laboratory, virtual lab, so I can keep use, right, to teach is our student group, right? So this is just an example. Her body weight is only 160 pounds. She tried 365-pound squat. Oh, she did, right? So, oh, it sounds like she's a really good athlete, as well as she really good has performance record, is right. So why not, right? So using virtual, make a virtual lab video using her. Yeah, so she's here, right? Is right here. She will pedal fast. Oh, so is it, this is release, right? So student can measure her RPM during every 5 seconds. Oh, as you see, she's very slow, right? Because she's really power lifter, right? Her energy system only around 5 to 10 seconds, right? How slow? How slow, right? It's already different than is another subject, right? Yeah. See, this is very like a good phenomena to show our student because she really trained for powerlifting. So this is why she's only developed that energy system. So we can use the computer, or during the video, student can stop every 5 seconds. They can count the repetition, so they can calculate revolution, right? So for example, this is from the computer, like 128, 140. At 5 seconds, she reach peak 147 or 144. But after 5 or 10 seconds, her repetition decrease, right? Decrease, right? So we have really good data. And this is the like a graph, her revolution per minute. This is power output. And how about, did you remember I said, using virtual lab, we can really teach our student well. Please watch here. So this is a Volkswagen system, this blue one. This is a Volkswagen system. And this is our power lifter, Diana, right? Diana, right? So Diana's is repetition is here. This is repetition is here. But you know, this graph should be very similar, this blue graph, but actually this is 30 seconds and this is 30 seconds, right? So if I make smaller, maybe we have this kind of graph. So does it make sense? Oh, so this kind of power lifter, using her performance, we can make a graph, right? And using virtual lab. So as you see, this is exactly look like this Volkswagen system. So it's much easier to teach our students virtual reality, right? Virtual lab. It doesn't make sense. This is kind of like the beauty of the virtual lab. And another one, okay, as we have time. So this is a football player. So we are already familiar with this Wingate test, right? Even, yeah, we are already familiar with. So it's right now, this virtual lab is a little bit upgraded. How can I say? See, I put this like a monitor from our computer and I immerse in this video, right? So does it make sense? And another one, at that time, I was very lucky. I have a football player. He's a really good football player. So we can see his performance. So doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. How about see is our football player performance? I believe because he's a powerful athlete, because football player, so his performance is really increased, and but can reach 5 to 10 seconds his peak, and after 5 to 10 seconds his performance should be decreased. Right? Doesn't make sense. Should be decreased, right? So graph should be increase and decrease because fatigue occur. Yes. So increase. I think it's reaching his peak. Oh, already start to decrease, right? Fatigue occur, decrease, 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 right? Decrease, 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 right? Decrease. Yes. So this is a really good example football player. And how about next one? I was luckily have a triathlete at that time. So as you know, is a triathlete is a really muscular endurance percentage, right? Cardiorespiratory endurance or muscular endurance. Right? This is really endurance person. So I believe even we didn't start, but maybe his performance is RPM is increased, but cannot increase that much, reach steady state, and maybe it's like a plateau. It means there are no muscular fatigue occurs, right? So we can see that kind of graph. So cannot increase that much like a football player, but reach plateau and keep moving like this. Right? How about let's see? Yeah. Yes, cannot increase that much. But how about see the graph? See here, here, plateau, right, right. There are no muscle fatigue. This is endurance. This is endurance, right, right. A little bit decrease, but not that much compared to the football player. So doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. A little bit decrease, but is compared to football player is really good, really good, really good, right? Mm-hmm. Right, so using virtual lab, so we can show our student, because many students, they sit is behind of him, they cannot really see the computer monitor, but they just watch the performance, they couldn't really see the number or this kind of data. But using virtual lab we can do. And another one, this is really good. See, it's right now using virtual lab, we can compare two people. Is it right? Is it right? So that is perfect, like virtual lab, how help our student understanding of our the concept. So this is a football player, this is the like a triathlete, is like a represent muscular endurance, he represent like a strength or like a power, is right? So graph should be different. So even this we can see the baseline. See, football player is much higher than him, right? But is muscle fatigue occur, right? But he's just keep going, keep going. See, is lower, but he just keep going, right? It's different, is right? Yeah, so this kind of a comparison is really give to our student understanding is the science. It doesn't make sense. So that was kind of like, oh, I think so 2015. So I did that one is really successful. But 2018, 19. So I have another grant, but that one I use the virtual reality. So it's kind of upgraded, upgraded. So when I developed virtual lab, so I was a little bit confused because at that time is the popular one is like animation. So using animation or cartoon, we can do virtual lab. But based on my understanding is many students, right? They want to see like real one, not really animation, is right? So this is why I make a virtual lab using like a video based. And right now I understand even like some free movie available in YouTube, but this free movie quality is not that high. Students do not watch, right? Doesn't make sense, right? They need really high quality. So because of GoPro or some kind of high quality video, or based on this one, they are familiar with really high quality video. So this is why I think, oh, I need more high quality video or more available. Well, how about 3D high quality? That is perfect. So this year I updated is virtual reality of exercise physics laboratory. So at this time I use GoPro Fusion video camera that is available 360 degree. So it's like this. It's like this. So I believe many people using like a performance using this video camera, but nobody really think about we can use this one is like our laboratory, right? So does it make sense? So I apply this one. So for example, like this. So this is kind of like a oxygen consumption test. So during bike exercise is measuring blood pressure and measuring oxygen consumption, CO2 production, right? And at that time is measuring heart rate. This is here, and this is metabolic heart data, right? But as you see, this is our subject, and this is our two TA. But usually student, they behind their put the just sit on the chair, and they just sit there. They usually cannot see really real data. So using this 360 GoPro Fusion camera put here and put the metabolic heart data, and this is the EKG data, right? And test here, test T here, right? So put the camera is here. So when we make, and when I make this like a virtual reality, it's 360 video, so student can see, yeah, using like a Google or some kind of like just computer, they can really feel, oh, that is really virtual reality. And they can see the data at the same time. So like this. And how about is this video? So like this. Right? See? So is here, our camera is here. Camera is here. This is heart rate data. This is EKG data, right? And can show. And this is the metabolic data. And this is the bike protocol, right? And tester is here. And I was a tester to measure her blood pressure, right? But because of this data, if a student, so using the Google or using the computer, they can see all of them, is right? All of them. So I measure blood pressure. He asks how hard exercise? 11, right? So like that kind of approach, right? So we can record. And this is how to make a virtual reality, right? Just using our another camera, right? So this is the total one. And GoPro Fusion is here, it's the middle part. But we have another camera right here. Yeah, so EKG and metabolic heart is GoPro Fusion is here. This is heart rate data, right? Blood pressure and another tester and trainee. So there are a lot of camera, right? So we can, and we can apply another too. This is a squat exercise. So squat exercise, we can measure speed, some kind of software. So I can put software is here, and she exercise here, and we can put GoPro Fusion is between this testing machine as well as our subject. So we can record. So 360 video we can see, right? And another one is really good model, right? She's a software player, right? So trained people, we can get really good data. So it doesn't make sense. And another one, this is Wingate test you're already familiar with, right? So at that time, Wingate test like a 2D, just 2D. But right now, student can see this in 3D. Yeah. So it's a GoPro Fusion camera is here, and this is the monitor. We can record here, and at the same time, we can see her too. So GoPro Fusion video is here, right? So does it make sense, right? It's very similar, but we just put the GoPro Fusion and we just change, we organize the like a structure, right? So camera should be in the middle, right? And another one, right? So this is the underweight. So because is overweight is obviously a problem. So our kinesiology student, they learn is how to measure body composition. So to measure this like a percent body fat, they must understand body density. So this is we call is underweighting. So as you see, right, is underwater. She's here. She should be submerged, right? We measure this weight, so we can calculate body density. Right? So this computer is here, and this is GoPro Fusion is here. So actually, this is 360 degree, so student can see her as well as the computer. So it's very mimic, right? As a like a tester. Even we are not there, but they can really learn is how to measuring body density and convert percent body fat. So this is our student. We after making, right? I post is YouTube is our virtual lab video. So student can using this Google, right? They can watch the 360 video. but this is our human performance lab. Yeah, so does it make sense, right? So I sent a link so student can watch this video, right, using the Google, right? Right, so after this one, right, this kind of testing, they do not think is like very different than is our real lab. So real lab as well as virtual lab, right, is very similar. And after is like make a CLO, so make some kind of like a testing or like a assess. Is a virtual lab and traditional lab is student understanding is very similar. I think student feedback is good, but it couldn't listen. So how about I just move? So there are a lot of video is available for our student. And how about, right, I just show, right? So how to make virtual reality, but I didn't really show real virtual reality videos, right? So right now I show you. And virtual reality, there are many ways we can post Facebook or we can post YouTube, right? YouTube account, and student can see using their phone or Google or just computer, or they can use GoPro player. That is much better. But today I show you GoPro player because using the GoPro player, we can see really, really high quality video. Take a little time. And how about any question? People go to the real virtual reality at this time. It's okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So how about is this is I in Humboldt State University. So Humboldt is very popular. Redwood National Park is right. So why not? I want to just show just 10 or 15 seconds Redwood National Park. But I go to the Redwood National Park using GoPro Fusion. I record it. I record it. How about we can see Redwood National Park, right? 10 seconds. This is Redwood National Park. It's beautiful, is right? Because this is a virtual reality. See, we can see it's like this. This is my wife. I ask her to walk, right? But this is 360 degree, right? So it's here. So student using Google, right? They can see front, back, and even up, right? And low, right? This is a kind of benefit. I live in the Humboldt State, Humboldt County. Right? Okay. Okay. Next one is a virtual reality, right? So first, I want to show the Wingate 117. Mhm. See, it's a different is here. See, is here we have a heart rate and we have this kind of like RPM during Wingate test. Did you remember Wingate test? Is our subject is here, right? She's here, is right. So Wingate, right? She's ready. And another one that is timer. So as you see is here. So virtual reality and virtual augmented virtual. What is the good thing is they can organize. How about let's here, right? They can see student and only timer. So instructor asks student, you should manually count her RPM, or instructor can allow student to see real data during test. For example, like this. Right? See here. See, did you see? So how impressive is it, right? So we can see this RPM data at the time, her performance, or even we can see her heart rate too, or we can include all of them, right? So data, two data, as well as the timer. So it doesn't make sense. And how about let's see her performance? See, it start, right? How about if a student want to see data, right? So they can see this data, right? So it's here. Oh, right? That is RPM is here. They can see, as well as can see her, and even see the timer also, right? So it doesn't make sense, right? This is really 360 video virtual reality, right? So this is a little bit different than our 2D video, but it has a really good experience to the student, right? Because in many university or another country, yeah, for example, is my country is Korea, we do not have this kind of equipment. That case is perfect for them, is right? Because they do not have equipment. And how about another one? On that way. Uh, yeah, this remember, right? This is the underweighting, right? She's thermals is here, right? Right. But how about we can see this data also? So how about here? I can make like this, right? So because this is a small room, so many students, they cannot come. So it doesn't make sense. And many universities, they do not have this kind of those facility. So they do not have really experience. But if I make this virtual reality, right, students can easily see, right, this, how about even they can see just this data, or they can see a performance, and they can see how our trainer or tester to encourage her during their underweighting. So how about another one? Yeah, she'll try again, right? So she'll try again. We can say at the same time. We can say at the same time, right? So it's here. It's right now. It's time to measuring under the weighting. It's here. It's here, right? Mhm. Right. So this is weighting, right? Right. It's here. This is a kilo Z, right? Right. So we measure, right? So using this one, student can return. They go back. They go back, right? So 2.10, 1.96, they should find is very constant weight. I think it's around 2.3 and 2.2, so they can understand, oh, this is underweighting weighting and underweighting. That doesn't make sense. And how about maybe the last one? Which one? GXT by. This is kind of like they should understand, right? Is important one, but many times is a metabolic. Many universities do not have metabolic heart, right? This is a metabolic heart is measuring oxygen consumption and CO2 production, right? And this is the protocol, the bike, and subject is here, and this is heart rate, and this is EKG, right? EKG is a little bit not really good high quality, but at that time we are just kind of starting, but right now we move to very close, so we can get all high quality level is like this. Every data look like this, but this is a little bit old one. And where is timer? Yeah, there are timer too. And every 3 minutes, we must collect like a blood pressure and some data. So how about like this? 258, 259. I think we forgot 6. Yeah, 6 minutes, right? So I try to measure blood pressure, right? So student understand. And another one, we just verbally say like blood pressure right now 120 over 80, right? So that kind of approach. And he will ask how hard exercise. So student can take a note and they can collect data too. Mhm. Just I want to show you here, right? So how about we can see this data, or we can make a little bit smaller one, right? So 3 data with her, and another data is here. If this EKG data is important, we can make a bigger one, only this one, and with her. Well, if we want to see all of them, right, we can make like this. We can make like this. Right. So it doesn't make sense. We can get all of the data. Right? Usually, without this kind of camera, it is not possible. But right now, technology is available, so the problem is content. So like a human performance lab or exercise physiology lab or our own lab in science lab in our CSU system, if we have content, is technology is no problem. So it doesn't make sense. And another one is really, really high quality. Is good. Okay. And how about, I think I do not want to spend too much time, so maybe question and answer. Do you have any question? Please let me know.
Yeah, Young, I'm really curious about if the
Oh,
video looks the same when, or how it looks different when they wear the goggles.
oh yeah. So goggle is uh, they must move is right. They're using the goggle, they move right. So using the, what is this, iPhone, right? They just move like this, but goggle is more phone. So it's very similar, but it's really like 3D. But using the, what is this, what is the iPhone, right? They must move like this, but there are a lot of outside. You can see the other one, so they cannot really focus. But using goggle one is much better, much better.
So,
So
so
we,
it is,
yeah,
it is different.
not big different, but different, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And his goggle is not really expensive. It's around $15. So we purchased and 45 of it, so our student can use. But the problem is because our curriculum is late, we cannot spend time because we have a really good human purpose lab design. Many students really participate virtual lab because we already have a good lab and entertainment lab. But how about not have some equipment what they can use? Is really, really good idea, is right? Like how about like some another country, they do not have a lab, but they must teach this complicated concept. They need a lab experience. At that time is really good too. But without, oh yeah, go without the iPhone or smartphone, actually we cannot really use, right? Because we need a smartphone and Google, is right? Yeah. So student need the phone.
What types of the headsets are you using?
Oh, I think that is a very simple one. It's around $15. It's not Google's one. Google's one is a little bit higher one, right? It's, but this we can easily find this Amazon is around $15. And another one, actually, students do not really want to use Google, right? They just want to the camera and their phone. That is much easier, right? So first time I believe, oh, I think they like it, but they usually do not spend that much time because this is classes, right? This is not like entertainment. So they want to really finish their like collecting data. So actually they just using the phone and they want to move faster, right? Actually it's not allowed, but they want to move fast and like every 3 minutes collect data and another 6 minutes, right? They use like this. But usually real lab is take like 40 minutes. But using the Google, this kind of virtual lab, they can finish even less than 5 minutes. Right? Yeah, that is our student culture, right? They want to finish early, they want to leave early. Right?
But then you can add more content.
Yes, yes, right. So they can see like 100 people is 1 hour. That is possible. But the problem is we should make that 100 content is right. Right. That is like take time, and sometimes I really need a good what is this model. And another one is always is not cannot collect good data. Sometimes data is not good. So maybe half of them virtual lab data is not good, so I cannot use. But this is real world. So how about real lab? Our data is not good. There is more problems, right? Because students do come to our lab, but today, I'm sorry, today data is not good because of a calibration issue. So I cannot say, right, this is right. But at the time, we have already virtual lab. So how about I can say, oh, today lab is not good. I'm sorry, but go to this link. We have really good lab data, so you can use that data, right? Or some students like absent, right? But they couldn't come. That case, maybe that comes another one too. On another one, before lab, they can see it's a previous lab. So they already understand, like kind of flip classes. They already understand they can come. And another one, right now, we make virtual lab, our real lab too. So after class, make this virtual reality lab and post it to the YouTube site so they can watch again, right? If they just couldn't get a data at that time, so they can go back to them. So always it's good resource. It's really, really good resource. Thank you, Beth.
Do the students use their own phones, or do you provide the phones?
We have only one phone in our human performance lab. So we provide the phone, and we have a Pro iPad, one Pro iPad, and one computer, and one iPod. Right? But usually students use their own one, right? Thank you.
So it's very easy. It's cross-compatible, the software required to present all of the content.
Yes, because I post to YouTube. So if they access YouTube, is no problem.
That's fine. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Kamil.
Are there any other questions? So one of the things I really like, that the different energy uses are tied to real experience, real people. I think that really helps students a lot. And so that's grounding some idea in real world. And so I learn a lot better when I can see people tied to some concept. So I think that was a really good example of how you use real world experience to teach the students. I'm also really curious. We have a group that are working on their portfolios.
Oh yeah.
Your portfolio is really good, and I'm curious. So you had all of the elements in a portfolio in your talk, and now even beyond that. So the work that you're doing now beyond what you've done, and I'm curious. Overall, what you think you're going to be kind of moving towards in the future? Will you just keep doing this? Do you think that because your work to me always changes, and so I'm curious what you're thinking for the future.
Oh, I think so. Right now, I'm a little bit confused because we call virtual realities, right? It's like it's not real, but actually this is kind of real. So I'm a little bit confused, right? Because if we have a real lab, our class, but after class, I do not have any dead one, so it's already disappeared. So I believe, like as a project, we should do, but another one, the important thing is we should keep doing. It's not like a grant one, because it really helps our student understanding as well as me too. So right now I really understand and a lot of video. So I feel like I'm kind of like rich people because a lot of video. So whenever I need, I just show to the students, right? So I believe is our group, right? It's not just finishing. We just keep doing. And another one is there are a lot of some grants, right? So even small grant and big grant doesn't matter because it's really depend on curriculum. So and another one because we increase our career, so level is not really low. So whenever we have a chance, I apply some credit, even what is this is a work study, right? Federal work study, or even using this one, I can make some video to pay our student as a model, as a tester, as a testee, like actor and actress. And another is really understandable, and this participate student, they open their eyes also, right? So it's very good.
Yeah, I'm curious, do you think that GoPro would be interested in knowing what you're using, like an educational aspect?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so, right? If we make really good, like a National Geographic level video, right? But there is a content is the problem, right? I think so, right?
Ashley, would you like to show the group some of the highlights of Young? And Young, you can comment too. We have your portfolio and we'd like to show it as an example to the newer faculty.
Oh, right now? Okay.
Yeah, if you're able to just bring up your e-portfolio because you're still on screen share. So I was just trying to, I suggested to Brett or JP and Beth as we move into stage 3, I can tell you that the previous portfolios submitted, they really did an amazing job really capturing examples of how they redesigned their course. So rather than stage 3 being just text based only, I guess we'd strongly encourage you to, Young, I have it up right now if you.
I think I found it. Thank you, Ashley.
Oh, good. Okay. We really would just like to encourage you to think kind of out of the box or creatively how you can really capture those technology components in your redesign. So, Young, if you scroll down, And then go to the right so we can see stage 3. So everyone so far has completed stage 1 and 2. So in stage 3, you're really describing, if you can stop right there, you're really describing what you've done. So you can see in here that Young embedded some of those sample videos that he just showed us inside of his e-portfolios. So if you have actual students, you may want to get permission, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
You could certainly encourage, you could also incorporate pictures, but it depends on the different type of redesigns that you're doing. If you're redesigning lab manuals or different things, but we just wanted you to kind of think about creatively how you can really showcase that and get others excited about AVR or the different innovative technology solutions you're using. So you can see in the list there, Young has also identified the actual technologies: Camtasia, flip video cameras. I can't even pronounce weight, ergometer. So for the test lab. So really, you can begin to start to think about, whether you use Camtasia or another video tool. Let's think about how you could do a navigation of that so that others can kind of simulate or get a feel for the actual videos in your course or how you use them. So and within stage 3, I'm here to kind of support you because it is a little tricky to incorporate the video, but you can see that it looks really slick in his e-portfolio when you actually can see it like a video on YouTube, where you can see that it's visually, I can just click that red button and it starts to play like a movie, rather than simply embedding a URL, which is just not as visible. Sometimes it gets buried in text. So that was all I really wanted to just get you thinking about that. The next cohort meeting, we'll talk more in depth about stage 3 and some examples, but just wanted to get you thinking out of the box now and how you might be able to really best capture those ideas or thoughts.
Yeah, and if people want to share and get some feedback on what they're thinking about stage 3, we can use that session for the next session is 118, so after the new year. Again, I think that Young is a really good example of all the stages of a good portfolio. And so what he showed today about the background of the student, his actual redesign, and then what it means in the future is a really good example to shoot for. We'll meet again after the new year, so 118, and we have a little bit more with Unity. So Jeremy Werner and Sarah Casey, Bakersfield and Sonoma State, are going to show us a little bit more about some of their previous ePortfolio work and their work with Unity. So we'll have a little bit more blast from the past with some former members there again. And again, the stage 3 portfolio is due 2/15, and we also have Camby's, who's going to update us with what he's been up to lately. And after that, we have the CSUY teaching conference, which I'll remind you guys all. Are there any other last minute questions for Young?
Yes, I had some questions. I was curious about the process a little bit more. I mean, I know you kind of briefly talked about how you would record with the GoPro video, GoPro camera and Fusion stuff, but I was curious about how to, what are more of the specific steps to doing that, or did you, I see that you're using the GoPro Fusion Studio app and stuff like that, but
Yes.
where I'm coming from is I'm looking at redesigning some of these particular labs, and I want to basically, this is for like a second year course type of thing, and so I'm really trying to help guide the students and show them what they needed to do. So I was very curious about being able to show them a board or something like that, but letting them be able to use the goggles and see that. So
Yes, sir. So it's to use the goggle, it means we need the 3D video, but GoPro Fusion, that is perfect. But the problem is, I believe your own computer, it take 2 or 3 years. It cannot work with this GoPro Fusion. So this is why when I purchase GoPro Fusion, I go to the IT office and ask like which kind of a computer is for like a GoPro Fusion. So that kind of approach. Actually, my computer is too old, so I need to purchase a new computer for GoPro Fusion as well as their software. So that doesn't make sense, right? So without this one, and another one is GoPro Fusion is really, really high quality. So to download in your computer and rendering, it took like a 5 giga video. It took like 4 to 5 hours. Sometimes its computer is like just stop, right? So this is why I had better work with IT officers, right? So they can set up the which kind of a capacity of the computer is good for like a GoPro Fusion. So, and first I use my own computer. It's really is a good computer, but still is rendering take too much time. But when I purchase through the IT office, I purchased like a kind of game computer. It doesn't look like academic, but the game computer, but they said that is perfect. Its rendering is less than 10 minutes. So this is why I think the computer is important, right? And another one is really, really high good quality. And like for me, is the important thing is a student, right? It's like a tester, testee, and model. So it is kind of like making movie. It's not really easy. It takes a lot of time, but it really motivate yourself because it takes really much time. And another one, we should really good protocol, really good like scenario to make this video. And but if we succeed, one movie, one video, and after that, it really is enjoyable, right? It's really happy. It's like kind of director of the some kind of video, but it was really enjoyable and students like it and students understand that kind of faculty's effort. So they really serious even during the class too. Like, oh, this professor preparing this kind of video for us, but there is not really is available as other things. So I think it's everything's really good, and I really enjoy. I want to keep making. Thank you, Dennis.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's a resounding, we love your work, Young, and we want to keep seeing you grow. I would definitely contact GoPro and show, I don't know if they're aware of how their product can be used educationally. And I'm glad that the students also are aware that I like that it shows them that the faculty is really invested in going above and beyond and giving them the best experience possible. So we'll definitely try to steal you back next year for another update to see how much you've grown. Thank you again for sharing your work with us. Yeah. And everyone have a really great holiday and a really, really great new year. There's a lot of change I've seen over the past couple of years. And so this little group is doing and making big differences. So great work. Thank you. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you, Young.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.